Hey, and good Saturday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majeski back with you here on the Weather Nerds YouTube channel with a severe weather update. Sorry I didn't get my update in yesterday morning and had some issues I had to deal with on the local level. Sometimes the big boys just don't like a little competition, but that's okay. We're going to keep tracking along. Kind of interesting, we're kind of giving you the severe weather update, and you see this new warning that just popped up right now. That's a big one. Wow, that's along that entire line. We're gonna be watching this thunderstorm line here very closely for today. As you see this covering numerous counties. Look at all the counties that's in there. I'm not going to read all that. This is a huge line there. As this is moving off toward the southeast at some 30 miles per hour. The line is extending from near Rush to near Hatfield. And again, they're moving at about 30 miles per hour. So there's very strong gusty winds along this thing. We will have to watch for some possible tornadoes. This is a multicellular MCS kind of complex of storms that's going to be tracking across the southeast and causing a lot of problems here for today. So I wanted to give you an update on everything. So let's go ahead and break this down. Let's go look at the latest here from the Storm Prediction Center here. I'm not anticipating this to get updated to a moderate risk. I think the enhanced risk looks about right here for today. So again, we're kind of watching those complex storms that are back over here in Arkansas. They're going to be moving here from west to east, kind of moving it right across the southeast. So we're talking about areas of Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and eventually getting into my neck of the woods here across the northern Georgia area as we go in toward tonight. Now, let's go ahead and break down the categories here for this update here. The tornado risk, again, in a situation like this, when we're dealing with a squall line, it is relatively low, not zero, but running about 2% in that green zone through there. So again, we're talking about areas here from Little Rock, Arkansas, going through Memphis, going through over toward the Huntsville area, Birmingham, and getting into metro Atlanta. So all right through that corridor there. The biggest threat for today is going to be the wind threat. That's going to be the most significant area near. Anywhere along that squall line, you're going to see winds 60, potentially getting up to 70 mile per hour winds into this zone. So that red zone in there, that's running about 30% plus for seeing those high winds in that area there. All right, now as far as the hail threat, that'll be running not too bad. Nothing like we saw yesterday. I posted some things on my Facebook page showing, again, some of that baseball-sized hail. Probably not quite that big with this into this corridor, but I think 1 inch plus possibility in this zone. Hey, now if you're appreciating this update and you come to this update after the fact and you're not a subscriber, please go hit that subscribe button you can, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted on when we do these live updates as well as our live coverage. All right, let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to see with this thing as we go into the next couple of days here. Again, this is for today. Now, going in for day 2, going into tomorrow, we'll shift this back out toward the west again, heading out here toward Texas and Oklahoma. And you see the slight risk here kind of going up the mid-Atlantic. So this is going to shift into your day 2. And then day 3, that shifts mostly predominantly into the southeast. So we got a couple of days of severe weather that we're going to have to watch here for this all across the southeast. Looking at our storm reports from yesterday, we had about 300 plus. There were 11 tornadoes, most of them out there in Texas, or a couple there in Arkansas and Missouri. Obviously, the Weather Service guys will go out and do little surveys to see if that number goes up anymore or not. But that's predominantly where the action was. I anticipate probably in the same neighborhood of 300 plus storm damage reports today, just for the fact this is going over a more populated area, obviously, than what they had out toward the west. So we're going to watch that really closely to see how that develops. I am planning on doing some live severe weather coverage today, probably starting about 3 o'clock as we track these storms coming into Alabama and Georgia, and kind of keep my guys here across the North Georgia area informed. You may notice the brand change down below. That's part of the issues I was dealing with there was apparently somebody owns the words First Alert, and I had to drop that. So we're just going to keep moving on with that right now. Looking at the satellite picture, I want to go ahead and show you the big picture here. Again, kind of seeing these storms. Look at all the lightning with this. Just a tremendous amount of lightning in here across into Oklahoma, into Arkansas with that. So we're probably going to have numerous power outages with this thing as this moves on through, not only from the lightning strikes, but obviously from the very strong gusty winds as this thing continues to move on along. So it's, again, moving at about 30 to 40 miles per hour there here with this system. So let's go ahead and talk about the models. Let's go ahead and look at the latest and greatest high-resolution model data, and we'll check and see what the timing on this. Again, watch that timestamp. It's up here. You'll see that timestamp right up in there. There's that timestamp. So we're going to kind of watch this closely as we watch this complex of storms come on through Arkansas. So it looks like when we start to come into Tennessee here as we head toward the 1 o'clock hour here and coming into northern Mississippi. So there's that nice little squall line. Again, we'll have to watch and see if we get any individual thunderstorms to pop out ahead of that line. Those can always be conducive for adding additional spin, maybe increase that chance for a tornado or so. as this moves on to the east. So it comes in Alabama around 3 or 4 o'clock Eastern time, and then it moves across from Nashville down to Huntsville, coming into Birmingham by the time we get toward 5 o'clock, and then coming into West Georgia around 6. So coming in back from Birmingham, back up near Chattanooga around that time. So let me zoom in a little bit closer here. You can kind of see that right through there. And again, coming across the North Georgia area here as we go into the evening hours between 6 and then coming into Metro Atlanta by 8, 9 o'clock. And then this kind of moves on off. So that's our initial severe weather around here. Again, let me back this up for you once again. Watch that timestamp again. If you know where your location is, get an idea where this thing's coming from. So again, the best thing I can tell folks, if you're out ahead of where this line is expected to go, there's some things you need to do today to prepare. That means if you got lawn furniture outside, you may want to secure it, umbrellas and chairs and things like that. If you got trash cans that are outside loose, you may want to bring those inside, maybe put them in the garage or on the side of the house or something like that. And if you've got a garage you want to put in your car in, maybe stay away from any potential hail threat. Maybe you want to do that as well. So again, that's the time frame as we continue to watch this thing move across Tennessee, Mississippi, northern Alabama, and then coming into North Georgia here as we go in towards the night. And then as we get past 9, 10 o'clock, obviously we lose that daytime heating and things will begin to settle down at that point. So again, there's the map there. You can see that, again, the tornado watches up along that boundary there across portions of Arkansas. It'll be interesting to see what the Storm Prediction Center guys do. Do they keep with the tornado threat along that boundary as it moves, or do they keep it as a severe thunderstorm watch? It really kind of depends on how the storms are behaving at the time they issue the watch to see what kind of helicity and spins in the atmosphere. Regardless of whether we have a tornado watch or severe thunderstorm watch, we're going to have some very strong gusty winds along that boundary, and we're going to have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings as this tracks out of Arkansas into the states out ahead of there in Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and even into the Carolinas. So again, going to recap once again, looking at the big picture here for today. As I back this up to day 1, again, we're looking at this enhanced area of severe weather. This was updated here for this morning as we're watching that line of storms that's going to track across Arkansas and move into these zones here for later today. So make sure if you're living in this part of the country that you stay weather aware. And obviously these storms could get into Metro Atlanta for tonight, which of course a lot of folks do a lot of traveling. That could have some impact on travel there as well. Again, looking to go do live about 3 o'clock for this afternoon as we go ahead and watch these storms. I got to take care of a couple of errands here before we get going here for later today. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider it and make sure you hit that like button there that notification button there so you know that we're doing these updates on a regular basis. All right, that's y'all's update here for this morning. You guys be good, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next update. We'll see you live a little bit later this afternoon. Until then, y'all have a great weekend. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.